Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting smart on complex stuff, hopefully with a few laughs along the way.
Hmm.
Today, we're tackling something pretty profound. Personal responsibility, navigating chaos,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
we are. We're diving into insights from Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, an antidote to chaos. Our goal here is really to pull out the actionable bits, give you a kind of framework for thinking about personal improvement and handling life's messiness.
Right. So the big question hanging over this for you listening is, how can these rules, which sound pretty straightforward, actually help you deal with the chaos we all face? We've got 12 paths to explore, essentially. 12 ways to maybe build a life that feels more solid, more meaningful. Okay, let's jump in. Rule 1, stand tall and face life's challenges head on. This sounds like advice your grandpa would give, but it goes deeper, doesn't it?
It really does. The
Mhm.
source makes a strong case that standing up straight with your shoulders back, it's not just about looking good. It's framed as this powerful stance. It actually affects your psychology, how you feel, and definitely how other people see you.
So it signals something, like confidence.
Exactly. Confidence, competence, a kind of readiness to engage. You're physically embodying an attitude.
Okay, so it's like telling yourself and the world, I'm ready to handle this. It mentions accepting the burdens of existence and confronting chaos. What are the tangible benefits, though?
Well, interestingly, the source points to physiology. It suggests this posture can actually lead to increased serotonin levels.
Oh, wow, the mood chemical.
Yeah. So better mood, maybe feeling less anxious. And then there are the practical outcomes. More confidence in yourself, which can lead to better social interactions, maybe even greater success professionally. The list includes things like improved stress handling, too. It's quite holistic.
That's fascinating. And there's this quote, if you say no early in the cycle of oppression, and you mean it, the scope for oppression will remain properly bounded. That sounds pretty assertive.
Yeah.
So connecting it back, how does just standing differently start that process of taking control for you? All right, let's shift focus. Rule 2 talks about treating yourself well. Treat
Sure.
yourself with the same care you give others. Why is that often so hard? We tend to put others first, right?
We often do, but the source is really clear here. Self-care isn't selfish. It's crucial, essential, actually, for growth and just basic well-being. It argues that giving yourself the same compassion and attention you'd give, say, a loved one who's struggling, that's vital.
And that connects back to Rule 1, doesn't it, that line? To stand up straight is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. Accepting that kind of responsibility must require you to be, well, functional.
Precisely. You can't carry much if you're running on empty. Self-care is the foundation. The source gives practical examples. Setting goals that are actually achievable, taking care of your physical health, diet, exercise, sleep, pursuing things you're interested in, and dealing with your emotional needs.
Like therapy, maybe?
Yeah, seeking professional help when you need it is mentioned, along with self-compassion, setting healthy boundaries with people. It's a whole package.
It really reframes self-care as a necessity, not an indulgence. So for you, maybe think, what's one small thing you could do today just for yourself, knowing it builds that capacity? Okay, Rule 3. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. We all kind of know this matters, but how does our social circle shape us so powerfully?
Well, the source describes it as having a profound impact. These people influence your habits, your development, your whole life direction, really. The advice is actively seek relationships where people challenge you, in a good way. People who support your goals, cheer you on. It's like choosing your influences carefully.
And it's not just about taking that support, right? There's this idea of reciprocal growth. You should aim to be that positive force for others, too.
Exactly. It creates this upward spiral. Everyone benefits. And crucially, the flip side is also emphasized. Distance yourself from relationships that drag you down.
Toxic relationships, yeah?
The ones that hinder you or just bring negativity. Supportive relationships, according to the source, have mutual respect, trust, honest talk, shared values, encouragement, and even constructive feedback when needed.
Makes sense. So for you listening, take a moment. Who in your life genuinely wants the best for you? And how could you maybe nurture those connections or seek out more like them? All right, Rule 4. This one hits home for a lot of us. Focus on self-improvement rather than comparison. Oh boy, the comparison trap. It's everywhere, especially now.
It really is. And the source points out, quite rightly, that constantly comparing yourself to others, it usually just leads to feeling bad, feeling like you're not measuring up. Your view of success gets warped.
So what's the alternative?
Focus inward. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Track your own progress over time. That, the source argues, builds a healthier self-image and keeps you motivated in a sustainable way. Your measuring stick is you.
So setting personal benchmarks, like actively thinking, okay, how have I grown in my career this year?
Yeah.
Or in my relationships, my health?
Exactly. Look at areas like your skills, your knowledge, physical health, mental well-being, relationships, career, even your character. And importantly, celebrate the small wins.
And the setbacks.
See them as learning opportunities, not failures, but data. What can you learn to do better next time?
Okay, that's a powerful reframe. For you, instead of looking sideways at what someone else has or does, what's one specific area where you could focus on being just a little better today than you were yesterday? Moving on to Rule 5. Guide children with firm but loving discipline. Parenting, always a complex topic. The Force talks about finding a balanced approach. What does that look like?
Well, it's described as this delicate dance between nurturing, being supportive, and providing clear discipline. The key idea is that setting clear boundaries and expectations actually helps kids feel secure. It helps them develop self-control and respect. Without structure, the world feels, well, chaotic to them.
There's a really strong quote here. If you are not willing to be a tyrant when necessary, you absolutely cannot be a good parent.
Oh.
Tyrant. That sounds harsh.
It is provocative, intentionally so, I think. The source clarifies it's not about being a literal tyrant, obviously. It's about having the courage to be firm when needed, to enforce rules consistently, explain why they exist, and be the authority figure who sometimes has to say no for the child's long-term good. The goal isn't to be their buddy now, it's to prepare them for life.
So consistency is key.
Yeah.
And explaining things.
Yes. Clear rules, consistent enforcement, explaining consequences, using positive reinforcement too, and of course adapting as they get older.
Right. So for you, whether you're raising kids or interacting with young people, how do you see this balance playing out? Or maybe how was it applied in your own upbringing? All right, Rule 6 is a big one. Put your own house in order before criticizing the world. This feels challenging. Start with yourself before you try to fix everything else.
It is challenging, but also empowering, the source suggests. The basic idea is focus on improving your own life, your immediate environment first. It builds personal responsibility. And frankly, it builds credibility. If your own life is a mess, how effectively can you really address bigger issues?
It's that classic idea, right? Clean your room before you try to reorganize society.
Yeah.
It implies that mastering your personal domain actually gives you more power or influence later.
Exactly. Successfully managing your own affairs, your health, habits, relationships, finances, skills, even just your living space, it naturally expands your capacity to contribute positively elsewhere. Small acts of order accumulate.
Okay, so practical steps.
Address your health, improve your key relationships, get your space organized, manage your money responsibly, work on your professional skills. It's about taking charge of your immediate world.
So for you listening, what's one small thing in your own house, maybe a task you've been avoiding, a habit, even just a cluttered drawer that you could sort out right now as a first step? Rule 7, pursue meaning over immediate gratification. Ah, the classic marshmallow test dilemma, writ large. Expedience versus meaning. What's the core tension here?
The source puts it very clearly. Choosing what's meaningful often means sacrificing short-term pleasure or ease for a longer-term gain. It's not just about putting off rewards, it's about aligning your actions with what you truly value, leading to a life that feels more purposeful, more satisfying down the road.
And it describes the alternative expedience, pretty harshly, following blind impulse, short-term gain, narrow and selfish, lies to get its way. Doesn't sound great.
Not at all. And this ability to delay gratification, to choose meaning, is presented as a absolutely crucial life skill. It helps you achieve big goals, builds resilience, helps you make choices that actually benefit your future self.
What are the listed benefits?
Increased life satisfaction, better decision-making overall, improved resilience when things get tough, stronger relationships, and yeah, greater career success often follows. It's about playing the long game.
Okay. A challenge for you then.
Yeah.
What's one immediate gratification, maybe scrolling endlessly, that extra snack, hitting snooze, that you could consciously forego today for something more meaningful tomorrow? Let's talk truth. Rule 8, speak the truth and avoid deception. Honesty, even when it's hard. Why is this so fundamental?
Well, according to the source, speaking truthfully does a couple of key things. First, it strengthens your own integrity, your character. Second, it builds trust, which is obviously essential for relationships. And maybe less obviously, it forces you to confront reality as it is, not as you wish it were, which is vital for actually dealing with problems effectively.
And it's not just about lying to others, is it? The source talks a lot about avoiding self-deception, being honest with yourself about your flaws, your mistakes. That sounds difficult.
It takes courage, absolutely. But the warning is stark. If you betray yourself, if you say untrue things, if you act out a lie, you weaken your character.
Mm.
Lying, even to yourself, erodes trust, increases anxiety, makes it harder to face reality, weakens your ability to make good decisions, and ultimately damages your self-esteem. It's like an internal corrosion.
Wow. Okay. So for you, take a moment. Is there an area where you could practice more radical honesty, either with yourself or someone else, starting today? Knowing it's foundational. Rule 9 is really interesting. Listen attentively, assuming others have valuable insights. The default assumption is the other person might know something you don't. That's counterintuitive sometimes.
It is. We often go into conversations ready to state our own case, but the source advocates for active listening, driven by genuine curiosity. Treat the other person like they hold a piece of the puzzle you're missing. This attitude, it argues, opens up huge opportunities for learning and growth. You actually hear things differently.
So you have to suspend judgment, really try to understand their perspective before you react. That sounds like a good way to avoid misunderstandings and maybe broaden your own view.
Definitely. It leads to unexpected insights. And beyond learning, it just builds better relationships. People feel heard, understood. The benefits listed are pretty compelling. Better learning, stronger relationships, improved problem solving, more empathy, and ultimately making more informed decisions because you're taking in more data.
Okay, a practical challenge for you. Think about your conversations this week. Whose perspective could you intentionally seek out and just
Listen.
really listen without jumping in?
All right, Rule 10. Communicate with precision to navigate life effectively. Be precise in your speech. Why does fuzzy language cause problems? Well, the source argues that using precise language does more than just avoid misunderstandings, though that's important. It actually forces you to think more clearly. If you have to articulate something precisely, you have to understand it precisely first. It clarifies your own thoughts.
That makes sense. And it connects to solving problems, right? You need to define problems accurately before you can even start finding solutions. Same for goals. Vague goals lead to vague results.
Exactly. Imprecise language creates ambiguity, which can lead to confusion, conflict, and inefficiency. The source highlights areas where this is critical: defining your goals, personal and professional, expressing your needs in relationships, resolving conflicts, giving or receiving feedback, explaining complex things. Clarity matters everywhere.
Okay. For you listening, think about your communication today. Where could a little more precision, maybe in an email, a conversation, even just how you formulate a thought to yourself, make a real difference? Now, Rule 11 brings us back to kids, but from a different angle. Allow children to explore and take calculated risks. This feels like the opposite of helicopter parenting. Let them take risks. Isn't that dangerous?
It sounds counterintuitive, right?
Oh.
But the source argues that overprotection actually hinders development. Kids need to encounter challenges. Allowing them to take age-appropriate, calculated risks helps them build confidence, learn resilience, how to bounce back from scrapes or failures, and develop crucial problem-solving skills. They learn to navigate the world.
There's a very memorable line. If you overprotect kids, they never learn about the world, and they don't get to be heroes. Wow. It links risk to competence, to becoming capable.
It's a powerful idea. The goal, according to the source, is to foster independence. Encourage exploration, let them make some decisions, allow them to learn from mistakes, within safe boundaries, of course. You're aiming to raise capable, confident people who aren't paralyzed by fear. The benefits are things like better problem solving, more self-esteem, better risk assessment later in life, resilience, and a sense of responsibility.
Right. So for you, thinking about the young people in your life, how could you maybe empower them to safely push their boundaries a little, to help them become their own heroes? And finally, we land on Rule 12. Find joy in life's simple pleasures, even amid suffering. This acknowledges that life involves pain, suffering is inevitable, but offers an alternative focus.
Exactly. It's not about denying hardship. It's about actively cultivating the ability to notice and appreciate the small, good things, even when times are tough. The source suggests that focusing on these small joys can significantly boost your overall well-being. It's like training your attention.
And that quote again, what you aim at determines what you see. So if you aim at noticing small pockets of good, you'll find them.
That's the idea. Consciously choosing to focus on positive aspects, even tiny ones, can shift your perception of your overall situation. It helps maintain a more balanced view, acknowledging both the struggles and the blessings.
What kind of simple pleasures are we talking about?
Oh, anything, really. The source mentions things like the beauty of nature, small acts of kindness, given or received, little personal achievements, moments of connection with people you care about, even just physical sensations like sunshine or the taste of good food.
Okay. So, for you, right now, considering everything going on in your life, what's one small, simple pleasure you could intentionally seek out, notice, and really appreciate today? Just anchor yourself in that moment.
So, wrapping up these 12 rules, you see a clear theme emerge, right? It's about personal responsibility, about facing chaos head on, about making conscious choices. They seem simple on the surface, but together they form this really quite profound framework for, well, for navigating life with more purpose, more resilience.
Yeah. We really hope diving into these has given you not just some interesting ideas, but maybe some practical insights, a few aha moments you can actually use. And here's a final thought to chew on, building on that idea of courage. If accepting the responsibility of life, eyes wide open, is part of courage, how might fully embracing just one of these rules change your sense of freedom?
It's a continuous journey, isn't it? Learning, applying, refining. We hope you continue your own deep dives into these kinds of big questions.